Hello and welcome to Healing with Julie Bishop and the manager of the saunalife.com. In this video, I want to talk to you about a common concern that I hear from many buyers, and not just buyers, but people that I see on Facebook groups. And I want to bring some clarification to this topic. My sauna is not getting hot enough. And before people start dogging the brand or the model, I want you to look at these 4 things. Number 1, I want you to check and make sure you have the correct electrical requirements. Now, for me personally, I sell Clearlight saunas only. So I'm going to be personally addressing Clearlight saunas, particularly the Sanctuary full spectrum model. This can pertain to our Premier far infrared, but more so the Sanctuary. So some of our models will plug into a standard grounded outlet, which is a 120/15. That's great. You don't have to hire an electrician. You don't have to do anything else. But if your model is a Sanctuary 2 or higher, you're going to need either a 120/20 amp or a 240/15 amp, or possibly a 240/20 amp. Now, some of these do increase if you're adding on red light or an extra full spectrum heater, which that's a whole different topic. But just in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 customers reach out to me and say, Julie, my sauna is not getting past 100 degrees. And infrared saunas are meant to get right around 125, 135, give or take. We're not going to hold a correct exact number, but they're not meant to be like a traditional sauna of 180 to 200. So when people tell me, hey, I'm only getting to 100 degrees, my first question to them is, would you please take a picture of your outlet for me and your breaker box? And most people, they're kind of hesitant and they're like, no, it's good. I know I have a 120/20. I know I have a 240/15. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to see it, because just in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 people who have had the wrong electrical requirement. Even though they were sent pictures of the correct outlet, the correct gauge wiring, there was some sort of miscommunication between them and the electrician. And obviously, if you don't have enough amps and watts and juice and power to power on your sauna, it won't get to the max temperature that it's capable of. So please make sure, if you are buying from me, because I always send a picture of what you need, what gauge wiring you need, that you show this to the electrician. You don't just say, I need a 120/20 amp. Show them the picture. They should know, especially if they're a qualified electrician. Tell them what gauge wiring you need, even though they should know, and make sure that it looks exactly like what the picture is. Because I can promise you that it's a common error, and then people start saying, well, Clearlight sucks, or this model sucks, or this brand sucks. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you don't have the correct electrical power. And believe me, it's more common than you think. Number 2, if your electrical is correct, and it for sure is what it's supposed to be, gauge wiring, the breaker box looks good, the outlet looks good, you know for a fact, you've showed me, I've verified, I've clarified, then you're going to want to make sure that all of the wires are connected underneath your bench and at the top back left-hand corner of the roof. Now, this is for indoor models. Our outdoor ones are different, but you're going to want to make sure that everything is tightly connected, because I can promise you, if there's even one little just jar or slightly loose connection of the wire, it can allow that temperature not to get to max capacity. So that's number 2. Number 3, with the Clearlight Sanctuary model, not the Premier, because the actual Sanctuary is full spectrum, meaning far, mid, and near, and the Premier is just far. there is a button on the keypad that says full spectrum. You want to push that button and make sure it's at 100% full spectrum, because there is a 75 and a 50 as well. And if you don't have it at 100, then you're not getting the full capacity of heat with these full spectrum heaters. It's another common error that I see all the time. And number 4, and you want to make sure that on your keypad, there's a power button and there's little arrows. You want to make sure that the arrow button is on the keypad as high as it will go. Now, every model is different. Now, I have the Clearlight Sanctuary 3. So my keypad goes to 175. You want to make sure that when you get in the sauna, you've tapped that button, that arrow up as high as it'll go. So if it's 175, that doesn't mean your sauna is going to get to 175, but you're programming the keypad as high as it'll go. So those are the 4 things that I want you to look at before you say, my sauna's not getting hot enough. Now, with that said, I was just on a group and I was reading through some of the comments, and I get it. Everyone's trying to learn. There's a lot of misconception out there, a lot of controversy. You have to understand too that, in general, infrared is going to get 125 to 135, sometimes 140. If you've added an extra 300 watt heater, you might get to the 150 range. It's kind of all over the map. We don't make an airtight cabin, even though there's very little heat that escapes, and this is for Clearlight models. But people are all over the place telling people, well, it should get to 160 and it should get to 170. No, traditional saunas get to 180, 200, not infrared. But you also have to understand and look at your model before you say anything. If you have a Sanctuary 1, it's a smaller model, and you're trying to compare that to our indoor Sanctuary 5, that is huge, and it has 2 extra full spectrum heaters on the glass, so there's 4 total instead of 2. Obviously, a Sanctuary 1 is not going to get as hot as a Sanctuary Indoor 5. Logically and common sense wise would tell you that the more power, the more heat, the more watts you have, the hotter the sauna will get. Again, this still depends on ambient temperature of the room, if there's the correct wiring, the age of the house. There's lots of things that go into play. Same thing with our outdoor saunas. I'll have people say, I have an outdoor sauna and it's only getting to 110. Okay, well, wait a minute. Where are you located? What state are you in? What's the temperature outside? Did you buy an outdoor 2 or an outdoor 5? So you can't compare a Sanctuary 1 to a Sanctuary 5. And I see that all the time. And you also can't compare our Premier model to the Sanctuary model, because the Premier models do not have the extra 500 watt heaters on either side. So it's either an extra 1,000 watts of infrared, or our Indoor 5 or the Outdoor 5 is an actual 2,000 watts of infrared, where Premier models don't even have heaters on the glass doors. So yes, they're still going to get, 115, 120, 125. But again, there's so much miscommunication and not enough clarity on, how do we differentiate between the models. And instead of people just getting on these groups and going willy-nilly and saying, oh, well, every sauna should be 150 and I get mine to 160, you have to look at all the variables that go with it. I hope that this video has helped you. It's a common concern for me, and it's a little frustrating for me because I want people to have the correct information out there. And after 6 years of selling Clearlight saunas at thesaunalife.com, I hope that this video has helped you and found you well. Please make sure that you are subscribed to Healing with Julie Bishop. Hit that notification bell. Comment below. Ask any questions. I do respond as quickly as I can. Thanks so much for watching.